The other day I took all of the tools out of this tool bucket so I could use it to take other tools to Salt Lake City. Now I got to put all the tools back in this bucket. And that seems like a good opportunity to talk about the tools that were in this bucket. Welcome back to Black Bear Forge and the tool of the day. Today we are talking primarily about repousse tools. And repousse is a technique for creating volume in sheet metal. This little ornament kind of illustrates what that means. You can see the flat cutout here. These are probably laser cut blanks that somebody had once. And you can see how this section that has been worked is much more three-dimensional. It has been worked over stakes primarily, although some repousse is done into soft backing surfaces. Frequently you see repousse work used to create human faces or things of that sort out of sheet metal where they stand out and are very lifelike and very realistic. Or they are used to create leaf forms that then go on other ornamental iron and follow scrolls to some extent. Now, to be honest, I do little or no actual repousse work. I've done some things that might be similar. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Hard to say, but I have this weakness for tools, so over the years I have collected quite a few repousse tools, specifically the hammers. I don't have a lot of stakes and chisels and things like that that are truly repousse tools, although the chasing tools that we have looked at previously, the chisels and the first pass butchers, second pass butchers, some of the little set tools, things like that, are essentially the same thing as some of the repousse tools. But the people I have seen that do repousse a lot, they have a workbench this size full of tin cans, and every tin can is bristling with different assortment of tools. They have lots and lots of tools to do the job that they need to do. Now I do find quite a bit of use for the hammers when working little sheet metal forms. When I'm making roses and things like that, often I will resort to a repousse hammer because they do the job quite nicely, but I'm still not sure if that qualifies for actual repousse. I do hope to learn someday, and that's one reason I've collected these things and one reason I have these samples. When I go to blacksmithing conferences and somebody's demonstrating, it's easy to get real excited about it, but it's hard to get into it when you get home and you have a bunch of work you need to do. Spending hours and hours learning the technique takes real commitment that I don't always have time to commit to. And some of these hammers are not technically repousse hammers. Some of these would be more appropriately sinking hammers or raising hammers, and they are used for similar work but not quite as delicate as repousse. They might be a little bit larger. This one's certainly pretty large, and it's probably more used for making armor or something like that. But these are the classic repousse hammers, these very narrow, smooth, highly polished peens, different size and shape peen on each side of the hammer. These are made by different people who have demonstrated at different times at the Rocky Mountain Smiths Conference, and I've just bought hammers from some of these folks. Some of these came from Chad and Brad Gunther. There's some Dan Nauman made. I'm not sure where some of these others came from. Just collected here and there. Some of them are ball end hammers for sinking ball shapes. Some of them are more square-faced or plenishing hammers. Most of these hammers then are used over a stake of some sort, and these are a couple of repousse stakes. This is a repousse stake. These usually go in the vise, and they're worked in the vise. With the stake in the vise, the hammer is used on top of the material, and it isn't pinched between them. You're not trying to use the hammer as a forming tool. It's a shaping tool, so you're actually right next to the stake. And it might look something like this. Elbows kept close into the body. You can see I can raise a little line there. If I come back the other way, I can go down the other side of it. And it may take repeated passes at this to create the shape and the form you want. And that's just one form of repousse working over a steak. Other forms of repousse, such as trying to sink faces, they're usually done from the back and they're worked down into a bowl of pitch or soft rubber or lead or something like that to support the material while you work the shape from the back. And the work has to be taken out and annealed quite regularly because it's done on cold sheet metal, and it will work hard and it will tear if you're not careful, so it has to be annealed. Again, I'm not going to teach you repousse work because I have very little experience in it. This is just to introduce you to the tools, so when you find a little hammer like this, yes, it is a blacksmith's hammer. No, you're probably not going to forge hot iron with it, but it might be worth having in the shop someday. You probably don't need as many as I've managed to collect. Some of these came from a single source that was selling out, and it was just, do you want all this stuff? Give me $100, so I took it. If you're interested in repousse, there's lots of good information out there on it. There's some videos out there on it. But I will forewarn you, watching people do repousse gets really tedious, so have a comfortable chair that you won't fall out of if you doze off. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put most of this stuff back in here. Some of it lives on the workbench because I use it over here at the vise or working on a wooden stump sometimes. But that's just a quick introduction to repousse tools and what these are. I hope you found it interesting. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Love it if you hit that subscribe button. Stick around, watch a few of the other videos, but then get out to your shop, make something, stay safe, wear your safety glasses, and we'll see you for the next one.